tumigil yung presentation at saka kung hindi nyo ako naririnig ha, may mag-chat sana po. Okay, so we ended up with radical retinoscopy. So yung discussion ngayon kasi, you will be needing this for your laboratory activities. Okay, so puro online tayo since yesterday. So yung yesterday na supposed to be ngayon, yung section D at saka kayong C ay magkakaroon ng laboratory work. So hindi na-materialize. Kaya nag-online tayo to do the lecture discussion on this. So included in the low vision examination, recall lang tayo ha. So if we are handling patients with low vision condition, we do the case history taking wherein observation and interview are being conducted. Then we do the visual acuity taking at far and at near and other tests that may be applicable to our patients, mga tests under preliminary examination. Then we do the external and internal ocular health examination, external by means of biomicroscopy or slit lamp examination, and internal by means of ophthalmoscopy at paggamit pa ng iba't ibang instruments, equipments na meron tayo ngayon sa CEU para ma-assess yung internal parts of the eye. Then, after those ocular health examination, we proceed with our objective refraction by means of retinoscopy, in particular radical retinoscopy, then subjective refraction. So after ng ating subjective refraction, we will not be doing the usual or performing the usual photometry test and accommodative test. We proceed to functional test. Now, in performing all of these functional tests, the patient should be wearing the results of your subjective refraction. Ha? Ipapagamit natin sa ating pasyente. So, under the functional test, we will start with the visual field charting, also known as your perimetry. And you have this in your physiological optics too. So by definition, the visual field charting or perimetry is measuring the extent of the visual field of our patient. No, i-recall natin ngayon, ano bang ibig sabihin ng visual field, di ba? The entire area that the person see while looking at a certain target, di ba? Mayroon kang tinitingnan, fixation target mo yan, looking straight ahead. Pero kahit nakatingin ka sa isang target, kung malawak ang extent ng iyong visual field, identified mo yung mga target to your left, to your right, above, and below you. No? Kung maayos ang extent ng ating visual field. No? So, ano yung importance? Why do we measure the extent of the visual field of the patient? Remember, di ba, if a person is suffering from a low vision condition, iba-iba yung types ng kanyang visual loss. May central visual loss, may peripheral vision loss, may generalized vision loss. Siyempre, nag-visual field charting ka or perimetry kasi gusto mo malaman ano pa ba ang natira sa visual field ng ating pasyente? Gaano pa ba ang lawak, di ba? Siyempre, para alam mo kung constricted yan or smaller ang kanyang extent ng visual field, dapat alam mo ano ba yung normal, di ba? Dapat alam natin ano yung normal extent. Okay. So, dito, malalaman natin yung mga possible visual field defects ng ating pasyente. Recall tayo ulit, ano-ano ba yung mga example ng visual field defects? Ano po? Anyone? Anong mga example ng visual field defects? Physiological optics 2 yan. May naalala? Ano mga defects sa visual field? Yes.
Doc, yung ano po ba, yung may bitemporal hemianopia?
Yan, yes. No, At least naalala. O sige, ikaw naman, Marky. Ano naalala mo?
Mga scotoma po.
Okay. So yan, yung mga bitemporal, binasal, hemianopia, meaning half of the visual field is blind. Quadrantanopsia, 1/4 of the visual field is blind. Or meron din tayong mga tinatawag na scotoma. So mga visual field defects na malalaman mo yan once tawag dito, nag-perform ka ng mga visual field charting. Okay. So we have different tests to measure the extent of the visual field. Andyan, di ba? We start with the basic, the confrontation test, the Amsler grid test, the tangent screen test, the use of perimeter arc, no? Tsaka yung mga lay test. And we will also review on how to record it and our interpretation. Okay, dun muna tayo. Siyempre, bago natin gawin yung mga iba't ibang visual field testing, recall tayo ng normal visual field ng isang tao. What is the binocular extent of the visual field? What is the extent of the binocular visual field? Gaano kalawak? With both eyes open. Para masabi mong, normal ang extent ng visual field ko. Gaano kalawak? May idea? Ilang degrees? Recall. Recall tayo. Ano ang naalala? Nagka-amnesia lahat. Gaano kalawak ang iyong nakikita? Ang lawak ba ng nakikita mo hanggang yung nasa likod mo, nakikita mo? Siyempre, hindi. Wala ka namang mata sa likod. So, may extent ang ating visual field. No? With both eyes open, si Ret, ilang degrees? Ilang degrees ang extent ng visual field? Anyone? No one.
Doc, 180 degrees po ba?
Okay, thank you so much. 180 degrees yun. Kaya nga, di ba, ang basihan mo dyan, kung 180 degrees ang iyong extent ng visual field binocularly, horizontally, nakatingin ka straight ahead, you raise your arms sideward, no? Sideward arms. Kahit nakatingin ka ng diretso, kita mo ba yung mga dalawang kamay mo sa kaliwat kanan? Yun, kung nakikita mo, 180 degrees ang lawak na extent ng iyong visual field. So, kung hindi mo nakikita, i-move mo towards the center unti-unti. Baka ikaw ay 170 degrees, 160. Kailan mo i-consider, nako, may problema ako, may visual field defect. Yung halos nasa gitna na, tsaka mo palang nakita yung kamay mo, di ba? So, binocular extent of the visual field is 180 degrees. Ngayon, takpan natin ang isang mata. No? Oklod the left eye or you oklod the right eye, one eye at a time. Yun ang ating tinatawag na monocular extent of the visual field. Gaano kalawak ang monocular extent ng iyong visual field? Kung kanina bukas ang dalawang mata, 180. Ito, tinakpan mo ang isang mata. Ilang degrees na lang?
Doc, try lang po.
Sige
60
po.
degrees po nasally tapos 100 degrees po sa temporal po.
Yan. Oo. Yung sinasabi mo, yan yung kapag ano naman. Tama naman yan. Sa isang mata, yan yung nasal, temporal, superior, inferior. Diba? Gaano kalawak yung temporal, gaano kalawak yung nasal, gaano kalawak ang sa superior and inferior. Etong tanong ko, in reference yung sa ating with both eyes open at tinakpan mo yung isang mata. Tama rin naman yan. Ito, kung ang reference natin kasi dito is the 180 degrees, pagbukas ng dalawang mata, tinakpan mo ang isang mata, gaano na lang ang lawak ng nakikita ng itong isang mata. Actually, combination to ng nasal at saka temporal, di ba? Isang mata combination ng nasal at temporal. So, kung ang ating temporal ay sasabihin natin nasa 80 to 90, tapos ang ating nasal ay nasa 50 to 60, so yung sa ano tayo, sa extremes, 90 sa temporal, sa nasal 60, so ang monocular extent ng visual field mo ay ilan?
120, Dok.
150 po.
90 at saka ano 60?
150 po, Dok.
150 po pala.
Oo, 150, di ba? So, combination of temporal at nasal, ito ang monocular extent ng visual field mo, 150 degrees. So, 180 binocular, monocular, 150. 180 minus 150, meron kang ilang degrees? Uy, mat yan. 150 minus 180 minus 150, ilan na tira?
30 degrees, Doc.
30 degrees. 30 degrees. Now, this 30 degrees is known as your exclusive visual field. When we say exclusive visual field, the target is exclusive for a particular eye. Sige, ganito. For the right eye, ano yung exclusive target sa kanya? Any target that is located at the extreme right. Extreme right. Talagang kanan na kanan. So kung nasa extreme right siya, hindi siya makikita ng kaliwang mata. Kahit naka-open pa yung kaliwang mata, kung ang target ay nasa extreme right, hindi niya makikita yon. Ang makakakita lang yon ay yung right eye. Kaya siya exclusive for the right eye at ito ay 30 degrees lang. Okay? Ngayon, para sa left eye naman, ang target na exclusive lang na yung left eye mo lang ang makakakita is the target that is located at the extreme left. Sulok nasa left side. Kahit bukas ang kanang mata, hindi niya makikita yung target na yon kasi nga exclusive lang siya for the left eye. Okay? So 150 monocularly plus 30 exclusive, 180. Okay? Ngayon, kung merong exclusive target, meron din namang target na common sa dalawang mata. Ang ibig sabihin ng common, binocular visual field, takpan mo man ang isang mata mo, etong target na to ay laging present. No? Hindi lang siya present sa isang mata. Sa dalawang mata, takpan mo ng paisa-isa, is still that target is present. And that is 120 degrees. Diba? Tandaan nyo yan, 180, 150, 30, and 120 degrees. Iba pa yung kaninang binanggit, minention ni Anissa na temporal, nasal, superior, inferior. No? Comparing the temporal to nasal, syempre, mas malawak ang temporal visual field compared sa nasal visual field. No? Comparing the superior sa taas at saka again sa inferior extent of the visual field, mas malawak ang inferior. No? Kaysa doon sa taas. And remember, we have different extent of our visual field because of our para-orbital structures. Magkakaiba tayo ng para-orbital structures, no? Let us say, noo. Protruding ang noo mo. So, dahil malaki ang noo mo, nakatusok ang noo mo, syempre, mas lalong mababawasan ang superior extent ng iyong visual field, di ba? Kung high cheekbone ka, ang taas-taas ng iyong cheekbone, yung temporal mo lalo pang nagkakaroon ng limitations. 'Di ba? Kung sobrang tangos ng ilong mo, it affects the extent of your visual field. Ganon din ang ating baba, no? So may kanya-kanyang advantage at disadvantage yan. Okay? So, wag mo sasabihin, ang tangos naman ng ilong niya, may disadvantage siya. Oo, maganda matangos ang ilong. Pero yung extent ng visual field niya, limited. Kasi nahaharangan ng matangos na ilong. Kaya, don't be sad kung hindi matangos ang ilong mo. Meron ka ding advantage, di ba? So, yan yon. Be thankful for what you have. Okay. So, mag-start na tayo sa confrontation test. Confrontation test is our basic test to know the extent of the visual field of your patient. No? Gross lang yan. Hindi ka sabi ng ilang degrees. Ang Okay, so we have several pictures of the different visual field charting, di ba? So, nandyan makikita nyo yung confrontation test. You are confronting your patient face-to-face with your patient. We have the use of a black cloth, our tangent screen cloth, the use of our Amsler grid, yung nasa center nyo, yung may bakal na hawak yung pasyente, yaan yung perimeter arc. Then, sa baba noon, from the center down, we have our manual perimeter. And to your right, sa ibaba ng confrontation test, yun ang ating automated perimeter. Good thing, we have in our department, meron tayong automated na visual field equipment, yung Fray, no, nasa likod ng Essilor. So, ito, in tabulated form, we have the different visual field testing. At ano lang yung extent ng visual field na pwede niyang i-measure. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, the confrontation test is only a gross estimation. Hindi ka tawag dito, makakapagbigay ng ilang degrees kung ano yung kanyang constricted visual field, no? Ito, ang maganda dito kasi sa confrontation test, 'di ba, ang lalaki ng target mo. So kung hindi makita ng pasyente 'yan, suspicious siya na parang ay mukhang affected ang visual field ng pasyente na ito. Then the Amsler grid test can only measure 10 degrees from the fixation. No? At saka ang test distance nito ay 16 inches or 40 cm. Actually, this chart, no, this test is being conducted for patients with macular problems, macular diseases. Sa ibang country nga, talagang yung eye care professional, they let their patients to bring home those chart para si patient mismo, imo-monitor niya yung kanyang nakikita. Lalo na for progressing diseases. Alangan mo kasi araw-araw pupunta siya dun sa eye doctor niya. So, magre-report siya. Let us say, after a week, Doc, ba't parang lumiit pa ito? So, kung alarming yan, tsaka niya magbivisit siya ng doktor. Okay? Then, the tangent screen test using the cloth, the black cloth, can only measure 30 degrees from the fixation. Kaya yan, hindi entire visual field ang kanyang kayang i-measure. The rest of the test can measure the entire visual field. Okay? Next. So we have here the confrontation test. Again, all the visual field charting or perimetry, this is being conducted monocularly in whatever test. Let us always start testing the right eye, kahit kaliwete pa tayo, ha? In confrontation test, the test distance is about 2 to 3 feet. Eye level kayo ng pasyente nyo. Kung ang pasyente mo nakaupo, ikaw din nakaupo. Kung nakatayo siya, ikaw din nakatayo. Ha? And you are presenting the targets on the 4 quadrants. Okay. Mag-i-imaginary 4 quadrants ka. Kaya pagka pinresent mo ang target, hindi sobrang taas, hindi sobrang baba. Okay? So let's have the confrontation test.
I want to demonstrate something to you about your visual field. Our visual field is cone-shaped. It's not shaped like a box. So the farther away a stimulus gets from your eye, the wider your visual field is there. So if you could do this with me now, close one of your eyes and take your fingers and put it right at the edge of your visual field, basally and temporally, but very close to your face. And notice how very narrow your visual field is there. Now move your hands out just about a couple of inches, and you'll see your visual field's a lot wider on that plane out there. Now move your hands all the way out. You'll see your field is very wide out here. The reason why I demonstrate that to you is it's important for you to understand that the farther away the stimulus is from the patient, the wider the visual field is going to be. The other reason it's important for you to understand that is because if you're comparing your visual field with that of your patient's, you have to show your stimulus halfway between you and your patient. Otherwise, you're not comparing the same parts of your visual fields. Let me demonstrate this to you. So I have my patient here, Abby, and I'm going to ask Abby to go ahead and hold your hand up over your left eye. And I want you to look right here at this eye. Now I have my left eye, my right eye, I have my right eye closed, and I'm having her look at my left eye. So I'm having her look at the eye that's across from the eye I'm testing. The reason I'm closing my other eye is so I can compare my field with hers. Now I'm imagining dividing her visual field into quadrants, and where she's fixating is right where the horizontal and the vertical quadrants meet. And I'm dividing her field into supranasal, infranasal, supratemporal, and infratemporal quadrants. I want to present my stimulus exactly or as close to as possible, halfway between me and my patient on this halfway plane. If I present the stimulus closer to me and I do it on the edge of my field, I'm going to be way inside her field because her field's a lot wider out here than mine is. Mine's a lot more narrow. Conversely, if I show the stimulus closer to her than to me, if I show the stimulus closer to her than to me, and I show it on the edge of my field, I'm going to be at the edge of my field, but I'm going to be way outside her field because her field's a lot more narrow on this plane than mine is. So make sure that you're showing the stimulus halfway between you and your patient. So go ahead and look right here at my eye and tell me how many fingers I'm holding up. But don't look at my eye, don't look at my fingers. How about now? 2. 2. Very good. You can uncover your eye. I want to just explain a couple of things here. First of all, I made sure I was halfway between myself and my patient when I showed the stimulus. When I went up to show the stimulus, I'm asking myself, am I on the halfway plane? When I'm satisfied with that, then I say, am I on the edge of my visual field? Only then do I show the stimulus. You don't want to have your stimulus showing as you're finding the edge of your field or the halfway plane, because then the stimulus becomes a kinetic stimulus, and kinetic stimuli are easier to see than static stimuli. So your first strategy should be using a static stimulus, not a kinetic or moving stimulus, because they're easier to see than a static stimulus. The other thing I want to point out to you is that when I showed her more than one finger, I aimed my fingers so she could tell it was 2 fingers. Because if I go ahead and cover this eye again, if I am showing her 2 fingers at this angle, she can't tell that's 2 fingers. It doesn't look like 2 fingers to her. I need to aim my fingers so that she can tell that there's 2 there. So now I'm going to check her other eye and watch for those little subtleties that I just pointed out. So go ahead and cover your other eye, Abby. And Now I'm going to close this eye of mine so I can compare my field with hers. I'm going to have her fixate on the eye, across from the eye I'm testing. So look right here at my eye and tell me how many fingers I'm holding up. 1, 1, 2, 1. Very good. You can uncover your eye. Good job.
Okay. So, di ba dito sa video na ito, ipinakita na when you present the target, it should be exactly in between you and the patient. Again, sinabi yung reason, kapag ka mas malapit sa'yo, pagtingin mo, narrow yung visual field mo, sa kanya malawak. Pag mas malapit naman sa pasyente, narrow ang tingin niya, sa'yo naman malawak. Eh sabi natin, confrontation, we are comparing each other's extent of the visual field. Tapos, sabi ko, di ba, you will be creating an imaginary for quadrants, but when you present the target, make sure ito ay within the seeing area, hindi sobrang taas, hindi sobrang baba. And pagka pinapresent yung numbers of finger, wag kagad nakapwesto na yung finger. It should be closed fist bago mo i-present kung ilang numbers of fingers ang gusto mong i-present sa kanya. No? Dapat nakaayos, hindi yung nakatagilid o yung anggulo. Talaga namang ang hirap masabi kung ilan yung daliri. Remember, these are patients suffering from a moderate to severe visual impairment. So, kahit sa iyo, sa palagay mo, ang simple-simple, sa kanila, mahirap yun. Okay? Next. So, doon naman tayo sa Amsler grade test. No? So, sabi ko nga kanina, this test can measure only 10 degrees from the fixation point, and this is the test that is being conducted if our patient is suffering from any macular disease. So, nakasuot ang kanyang results of your subjective findings. Occlude one eye. Pwede mo namang pahawak sa pasyente yung Amsler grid chart. Then, as the patient at a distance of 16 inches or 40 cm, instruct the patient to look at the center white dot. Patient, please look at the center white dot. Now, patient, while looking at the center white dot, I have questions for you. And these are the questions. One is, are you able to see the corners and sides of the squares? May mga pasyente, because of their visual loss, sasabihin nila, hala Doc, bakit ganoon? Oo, ine-expect ko na may corner ang square. Bakit ang nakikita ko? Wala. Parang blanco yung corner nila. Then you will ask your patient, sige patient, pakidraw, ano yung nakikita mo? It should be the patient who is doing the drawing, ha? Hindi ikaw. Hindi mo papadescribe sa kanya tapos ikaw ang magdo-drawing. Siya mismo. Kaya nga ang record form nito is the photocopy of the Amsler grid chart. Diba? Second question, how do you see the lines? Hindi mo sasabihin sa pasyente, patient, straight ba yung line? Hindi ganun ang tanong mo. Straight ba yung line? Broken line ba? Diretso ba? Gumagalaw? Ang dapat mong tanong, the right question is, how do you see the lines? Huwag kang magbigay ng sagot sa pasyente. No? Siya yung magsasabi, ay Doc, oo nga no, lines. Pero yung mga lines ba na ito, Doc? Lahat ba talaga sila wavy? Parang moving siya. 3D ba ito? Yan. So, magsasabi ng ganyan yung patient. Indicating that there is distortion. Kasi magalaw, ma-wavy eh. Okay, sabihin niya, Doc, broken lines ba ito? All broken lines? Yan. So, hayaan mong siya ang magsabi and at the same time, siya ang mag-drawing. And the last question is, are there any holes or missing areas? No? Wait, Doc. Oo nga, no? Habang nakatingin ako sa center white dot, meron dito upper portion, parang bakante. Black lang. Ganun ba talaga? Bakante ba talaga? Then let him draw it. Okay? Next, chart number 2. Kailan mo ito ipine-present sa pasyente? Napakadaming kasi types of Amsler grid charts. So itong chart number 2 is being presented kapag sa instruction mo, di ba sabi mo sa instruction mo, patient, please look at the center white dot. Sabihin ni patient, ano doc? White dot talaga? Wala namang white dot Ang nakikita ko dito, black at the center. So kapag ganun ang sinabi ng patient, may idea ka that the patient is suffering from a central scotoma. Hindi niya kasi nakita yung center white dot. With that, you present this chart number 2. So, ang sasabihin mo sa patient, di ba nakikita mo yung parang crossing lines? So, dito sa crossing lines, sundan mo kung saan sila possible magkaroon ng intersection. Kasi sa pasyenteng may central scotoma, hindi niya makikita talaga intersection. Ang mangyayari doon, black area yon. So, sasabihin mo na lang, sige, kung doon sa approximately intersection ng crossing lines, doon ka lang tumingin. So, after na instruction na yan, proceed ka ulit sa pagtatanong sa pasyente. 3 questions ulit. Okay? Presenting the standard chart. From your case history taking, nalaman mo that your patient optic nerve problem o kaya notification of the results of the Amsler grid, you present this chart. So, dalawang chart ang pinresent mo ha. Ito. And yung standard chart at pinapresent yung chart number 4. So, mag-start ka sa standard chart pa rin, di ba? Sabi mo, are there in the presence of scotoma? For further verification, patient, ang itatanong mo na ay ng how do you see the lines? Kasi wala naman linya dyan. Bine-verify mo lang yung mga missing areas or holes ni patient. Okay? Next. Doon sa standard chart, nagtanong ka, di ba? How do you see the lines? Sabi ni patient, ay, doc, parang magalaw tong linya na to. Or broken lines ito. O lahat ito kulot. For further verification, you present chart number 5 that can be presented horizontally or vertically. Kasi gusto mo lang malaman kung talaga bang curly yung mga lines, distorted ba yung mga lines, and a distorted vision is an indication of the presence of a retinal disease. No? Kasi kulubot eh. So something is wrong with the retinal surfaces. Kaya kulubot ang tingin ng pasyente. Next. So another verification for metamorphopsia or distorted vision is presenting chart number 6. Yun pa rin, puro linya ito. Then doon sa reading area niya, mas pino yung lines. Gusto mo lang malaman kung talaga bang distorted yung vision ng patient. Next. Then we have the last chart. Kailan naman to pine-present? If the patient is suffering from high myopia. No? Kumbaga dun sa gitna, makikita mo dyan, di ba? Mas maliliit pang grid. ang nandito. So, for verifications of the results of the standard Amsler grid chart that you present to your patient. Okay? So, ito yung mga possible examples, di ba? Like, ganito kasi ang nakikita ng pasyenteng binigyan mo ng instruction na please look at the center white dot. Ang sasabihin niya, Dok, center white dot ba talaga? Ang nakikita ko sa center, black circle. So, may idea ka, ay nako, mukhang may central scotoma to ha. Kaya ipe-present mo yung chart number 2. Next. O, doon sa question mo, do you see the corners of the square while looking at the center white dot? Sabi ni patient, Dok, oo nga no, square kasi to, dapat 4 yung corner. Bakit ganito? Ang nakikita ko sa corner, puro black area, pero isa lang yung corner ng square na present. No? Nangyayari yan kapag nagkakaroon na ng tunnel vision si patient. Like in the case of a patient suffering from glaucoma, no? Paliit ng paliit ang kanyang nakikita. Next. Or sabihin ni patient sa'yo, Dok, malapit doon sa center may nakita akong parang black area. Parang missing yung mga grid. No? So, sa lahat ng yan, yung pasyente ang magdodrawing. Or, ito yung mga types of distortion. Sabihin ni patient, Dok, yung mga grid ba? Tama ba yan? Sa gitna, malalaki? Or sabihin niya, or maliliit ba, Dok? Hindi ba pantay-pantay yung sizes ng mga grid mo? Or sabihin niya, Dok, bakit yung sa gitna may malaki, may maliit? Ganun ba siya talaga? No? So, all of those represents distorted vision. Again, a distorted vision is a symptom of a retinal disease. Okay. So, ayan. Kaya nga sabi natin, di ba, sa ibang lugar, pinapauwi talaga yung Amsler grid chart for the patient to monitor the progress of the disease. Week 1, ito nakikita niya. Week 2, wala, umiba na. Hanggang after 1 month, ganito na nakikita ko, Dok. Or, kahit sa pagbabasa, kasi nga, kaya nga importante ang case history taking. Sabi niya, Dok, pag nagbabasa ako, bakit yung ibang hindi naman 3D yung binabasa ko, bakit yung ibang letters or words? Parang dancing words sila. Words, parang yung gitna, wala. Yung magkabilang gilid, nababasa ko. Kala ko nga, Dok, nung una, may dumi lang eh. Pero sa lahat ng nakikita ko, yung gitna, black. Okay? So, indication of macular problem yan, ha? Next, we have the tangent screen. So, anong panahon ba ng physiological optics 2? Nagkaroon ba kayo ng chance na mag-perform ng tangent screen test? Na-perform ba ito? Hindi. Okay. So, actually, the tangent screen test, sabi nga natin, it can measure only up to 30 degrees, no, from the point of fixation. Hindi ang entire visual field ng ating hindi niya kayang i-measure yung entire extent ng visual field ng isang pasyente up to 30 degrees. So, familiar kayo doon sa black cloth. Ang original na tangent screen, hindi nakikita yung markings ng meridians at mga concentric circles na yan. Ang talagang tangent screen, dapat ang pagkakatahi ng mga circles na yan at meridians ay using a black thread or a gray thread. Kasi yan po ay guide ng examiner. Hindi yan para sa pasyente. Bakit hindi siya pwedeng white? Kasi makaka-disturb siya sa pasyente when you present the target. So, dito sa tangent screen na nakikita nyo, we have 5 circles. Diba? Each circles represent a degree. So, sabihin natin na ito ay 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay lang hanggang 25, no? So kung from 30 degrees hanggang sa mas maliit, consider mo pa rin na constricted ang visual field ng ating pasyente. Kasi 30 degrees lang. Counter a patient na malapit na sa gitna, sa white dot sa gitna, doon pa lang niya na recognize yung ipinapakita mong target. In the original tangent screen plot, walang center white dot. Again, bakit walang sa target na ipine-present sa ating pasyente? It's just a black at the center. So, the test distance, ang layo ng pasyente sa plot na ito is pwedeng 1 meter or 2 meter distance. Okay? Ngayon, habang nakatingin si pasyente, this is monocular lidan ha, pauklod ang isang mata, naka-wear ang prescription glasses or the results of your subjective findings, you will be presenting a target from the non-seeing area, meaning from the temporal towards the center per meridian. Yung mga linya na yan. Iba-iba kasi yung tangent screen. Merong ang difference ng meridian is every 45 degrees. 0, 45, 90. Meron naman 30 degrees. 0, 30, 60. Yan, ganyan. Bago, all throughout yan 360 degrees. Per meridian, you will be presenting a target. 4 targets yan. White target, red, green, and blue. Kaya kada meridian, pine-present mo yan ng paisa-isa. So, ano ang kailangang response ng patient? Patient, please look straight ahead at the center. While looking straight ahead at the center, I will be presenting a target. Once you recognize the target, please tell me. No? Minsan pa nga dahil 4 yung targets na yan, tatanong sa please tell me what color. Halimbawa, pinresent mo, green. So, please tell me what color from the outside, from outside to inner. Outer to inner ang presentation yan. Green ang target mo, sinabi niya blue. So kapag kakaganon, continue ka pa rin ng pagpe-present hanggang sinabi niya, green pala. So for every meridian yan. Next. Ngayon, yung sinasabi niya, ipinaplat mo. Kaya nga, next meeting, next week, eto po ang mga materials na dadalhin. Short bond paper, compass, protractor, ruler, pencil, and colored ball pens. Anong kulay? Black to represent the white target, red ball pen, green ball pen, and blue ball pen. Kompleto yan kasi gagamitin natin yan sa pagpaplat. As early as now, dapat familiar na kayo sa paggawa ng mga record form. Bakit po? In your future board examination, lahat ng record form ikaw ang gagawa. Bawal ang magdala ng sariling record form. So, yan, ang bibigay lang sa'yo, bond paper. Blankong papel, ikaw ang gagawa. So, dapat maranasan yung gumawa ng record form. At paano ang plotting? So, yung plotting sa actual na lang mahirap magturo sa online paano ipinaplat. Okay? Next. So, ganito kasi ang kakalabasan yan. Ibig kasi sabihin yan, per meridian, naglagay ka ng markings, naglagay ka ng dot. Tapos, connect the dot yan. Hanggang makabuo ka ng 4 na, yan o. Yan. Yang 4 na yan. Isopter ang tawag dyan. So, kung mako-compare nyo, di ba, malaki ang extent ng visual field if it's a normal. Tingnan nyo sa retinitis pigmentosa. Halos nasa gitna na bago niya nakita yung target. Nangyayari yan, hindi yung exaggerated. Talagang may mga pasyenteng ang lapit na sa gitna, doon pa lang niya binanggit na, ay, red pala yan. Totoo yan. Hindi yan exage. Okay. So, ito naman, example na isa lang yung target na ginamit. Kaya, isa lang yung isopter. Isa lang. Okay, next. So, ito naman, kasi itong gamit na to, archives na gamit na yan eh. Perimeter arc. Pero yung perimeter arc, kung i-visualize nyo, di ba, ano yan eh, handheld instrument. Kaya si patient ang may hawak niyan. Pero alam mo, mabigat kasi yan eh. Tapos, mapansin mo yung kamay, di ba, na may hawak ng wand. That is the examiner presenting the target. Doon sa bakal na yan, may markings yan ng degrees. Kung ilang degrees niya nakita yung target. No? Yan yun. Okay? Next. So, eto naman sa mga, siguro sa mga lumang eye center, meron tayong tinatawag na manual perimeter. This one can measure the entire extent of the visual field of the patient. And this is being plotted by the examiner manually. Kaya yung nakikita nyong lalaki dyan, siya yung examiner na parang sumisilip siya sa tube, no? Pinaplot niya yung nakikita ng pasyente on the opposite side. Nasa opposite side yung patient. Manual plotting ang ginagawa niya. Ang target dito is a light. Flashes of light yan. They are being flashed at different directions. Tapos, kung meron niyang buttons, push buttons para, clicking buttons para alam natin kung na-acknowledge or nakita ni patient yung target. Okay? Next. So, eto naman yan. Sa side ng yung nakatalikod na lalaki, siya yung pasyente. Looking straight ahead sa center. Di ba? May parang black doon. Pero sa actual, ano yan eh, green light yung nandyan. On the opposite side, ayan, nagre-record yung ating examiner. Then, dito naman, example, pinlat, 4 ang targets niya. Kaya, 4 yung nandyan. Na isopter ang tawag dyan. Then, ito naman yung old model ng automated perimeter. Yun sa atin kasi na nasa Essilor, latest model yon. So, anong makikita sa loob? May makikita si patient na fixation target na light sa gitna. Then, while looking at the center light, the fixation target, may mga flashes of lights dyan on different directions. So, once acknowledged ng patient, magpo-push button siya. So, dyan sa paper, yung mga black part na yan yung mga area na hindi nakita ng pasyente. Ibig sabihin, yan yung blind area niya. Okay? Next. So, ayan yan. Okay? So, one test at a time. So, the next laboratory natin, visual field charting ang gagawin natin. So, we have the confrontation test. Ang tangent screen plot natin, meron tayong 3. Kasi pag ginawa mo yan, most likely, mga 30 minutes kayo, 30 to 45 minutes yan eh. Gagamit kayo ng peripheral vision loss, di ba? Para makatotohanan. Then, tsaka Amsler grid chart. Ito, kasi next week pa naman kayo maglalaboratory, no? Kasi yung sa A and B, sabi ko sa kanila kung makabili naman. Pero since next week kayo, kailangan nyo ng black gloves. Para saan ang black gloves? kasi actually, when you perform the tangent screen test, dapat wala kasing kahit na anong makakagulo doon sa pasyente when it comes to target. Siyempre, di ba, kayo yung magmamanipulate nung target eh. I-move nyo yon from outer to inner. Makikita yung braso nyo. Baka kasi isipin ng pasyente, ang target yung braso nyo. So, dapat naka-all black talaga tayo. Pag bumili tayo ng black gloves, wag yung ano lang ha, kamay lang ang kasya ha. Yung mahaba, yung hanggang braso nyo. Para takip talaga. No? I'll be the one to provide the perimeter 1 o yung mismong pinaka-target. So, mandatory sa inyo kasi next week pa naman yon, makakabili kayo. Huwag naman kayong bumili ng mahal na gloves. Yung sakto lang, yung ginagamit sa mga pangsagala, yun. No? Hindi yung plastic ang init ang tagal nung test. Okay? So, that's it for today. Ayoko na muna yung color vision test kasi hindi nyo pa naman gagawin. One at a time. Do you have questions? Questions? So, kung wala na po, thank you for this meet-up. Happy lunch.
Thank you po, Doc.
Thank you po,
Thank
Doc.
you po, Doc.
Thank you.
Doc.
Sige po. Salamat.